Hello, everyone. This is Chizhou. I'm the founder of 쿼크체인. Today, I will give a talk of building next generation DeFi platform. First of all, I would like to thank OnChain to organize this event. So here's the outline. First, I will briefly introduce the motivation. Then I will summarize some challenges of current DeFi platform. Then I will explore some opportunities that the future DeFi platform that should be. And then I will introduce our enterprise solutions with this platform on AWS. And finally, I will conclude today's talk. So now everybody knows now DeFi is really hot these days. So for example, from this graph, which I captured from DeFi Pulse, that the locked value of the DeFi in DeFi that grows about 3 times from beginning of the April to, for example, early of the July. And so this fast-growing market actually brings a lot of opportunity, while at the same time, we also observe a lot of challenges in the DeFi market. So one probably most important challenge is security, where we observe several events that the DeFi application have experienced. For example, banker recently upgraded their DeFi contract, and then they found a critical issue and have to perform a white hat attack in order to recover, to protect those about 500,000 assets from being attacked by other hackers. Another famous event is FDME, where about $25 million equivalent assets were actually stolen by an attacker, and luckily the attacker returned those assets later. Recently, Balancer also experienced an attack where about 500,000 of the assets were stolen. And all those projects I just listed, they are well known, which means that they have been audited by famous auditors such as Charles Bits or OpenZeppelin. However, they are still were attacked. So not to mention those projects may not have so many resources to, for example, hire the auditors to help them make sure the correctness of their DeFi application. A second challenge we observe is that the user experience. So first of all DeFi users must have Ether in order to pay transaction fee, which means that a lot of DeFi developers have to educate their users to tell them that they have to have some Ether before they can participate into any DeFi. And if a lot of work try to, for example, avoid this, we see that there's still a lot of challenges that prevent, for example, users using, for example, other tokens, for example, as a 20 as transaction fee directly. Further, to participate the app, the user in general require extra transactions that are needed in order to use their, for example, contract-based tokens. For example, when people want to borrow some USDT via, for example, another asset, for example, WBTC, then they need to perform extra transaction compared to using Ether directly. And third is that we also observe the significant challenges in terms of scalability. And if you participate DeFi or use Ether for a while, you may notice that the Ether's gas price, that is basically the transaction fee, increases significantly these days. Actually, from this graph where we capture from Etherscan, that the transaction fee that starting from early this year to now raises about 2 or 3 times, and there's also some peaks if there are some hot DeFi applications that are congesting the network. Although a lot of technology are right now proposing to address the problem, and one of the promising technology is the multi-chain technology or kind of sharding. However, it also creates further concerns in terms of composability, where, for example, how people is able to using the same platform while using the composability to enjoy all the benefits of DeFi. And this problem becomes more difficult if there are multiple chains. And so there's a discussion that initiated by the Victoria last year, saying that there's a way to address this cross-shard default composability. However, it says that Ether is naturally supported, but for ERC20, they need some modifications in order to support the cross-shard DeFi composability. So in sum, to build a better DeFi platform, we need a platform with better security, better user experience, better scalability, and there's a bonus that better developer experience. And how to achieve that? Our solution is to use called multi-native token plus decentralized exchange plus sharding technologies. With multi-native token, we allow the users to issue the native token and be able to, for example, claim and mint the tokens. And they also use this, for example, native token as the transaction fee using DEX. And this native token can naturally be able to move from these different shards so that they can immediately get the better scalability and also the cross-shard composability by the sharding technologies. So first of all, better security. So let's dive into a little bit details of why there are so many security incidents these days. So for example, for an ERC20 token, a user must first issue a special transaction called approve so that the user is able to, before the user be able to participate in a DeFi application. And this approve basically allow the DApp to move the user's the assets on behalf of the user. And in order to avoid multiple improves, in general, the DApp will ask the user to be able to allow the DApp to move infinite assets from the user. And as a result, if a smart contract is hacked, then it's essentially not only to move the user's asset that is already moved to the contract, but also it is able to transfer all the assets that users, it actually is held by the user's account. And this is actually the incident, describes the incident of the bank recently attack. And the second major issue that creates security concern is to use the non-standard ERC token, where this non-standard can have, for example, can create several extra features that creates some extra corner cases, allowing the contract being able to, the DApp being able to attack. And for example, LendF.me, even they use the compound code, but because they support some non-standard ERC20 tokens, and then they were hacked because of this. And so in order to provide better security, we proposed using multi-native token. The multi-native token is kind of like Ether. So people can choose what kind of native token. It can be Ether, it can be QKC, or it can be another native token. And user can just send this native token and participate DeFi just like using the Ether. And there's no need to perform kind of approve. So the assets in the user's account will never be risked, even though the corresponding DeFi contract is hacked. And with this native token, we can define a standard behavior of these native tokens. So we don't need to worry about a lot of security implications of different ERC20 tokens. And a lot of common issues, such as reentrance issue, is also limited by the standard code. And further, by using the native token, users are allowed to use any native token as transaction fee. And actually, this native token will still be automatically converted to default gas token, like Ether or QKC, via the DEX. And so that from user-wise, it can pay any native token as transaction fee, but from miner-wise, it still collect actually the default token by default. And so that existing infrastructure doesn't just only require a minimal changes in order to support that. And also with native token plus sharding, we can enjoy better scalability. And a further improvement is that the DApp developers just need to deploy the contract in different shards with a minimum code changes so that it can harvest all the scalability features and all the other benefits of native tokens, such as cross-chain composabilities, naturally, with a very minimum code changes. And since this native token can, or the network already supporting the native token to move between different shards, and that means that all the native tokens can enjoy increased scalability by adding more shards in the network together with the cross-shard composability, where we also have the extensive discussion in the Ether research with other famous researchers such as Vitalik. And this also made developer experience a little bit more simpler. For example, the developer doesn't need to maintain two sets of code to support native token, such as Ether and also ERC20. And it can just implement one set of code that just support native token. As a summary, for the next generation DeFi, we believe that it should provide better security, better user experience, better scalability, and also better developer experience as a bonus. We believe that with multiple native token plus DEX plus sharding could be a very good solution to the next generation DeFi platform. For security with standardized native token, we can avoid a lot of security pitfalls. And with DEX, we can provide a way to exchange any native token to default gas token, so user can use any tokens to pay a transaction fee, while the miners still collect corresponding default gas token as their mining reward. From scalability, sharding enables scalability for native tokens, and also we are able to move native token between the shards very easily. And lastly, with this solution, there's only require a very minimum code changes in order to harvest these benefits. So with this new platform, one question is that suppose an enterprise client, they would like to harvest all the benefits in their, for example, enterprise system. How they are able to use that with very low cost and short time. And here we provide a one-stop application that's built on the AWS so that the enterprise client can easily build a blockchain as a service and then quickly be able to deploy any service on top of that and to harvest all the benefits that we have mentioned before. And this platform, besides the standard blockchain nodes, it also includes a lot of other components, including, for example, block explorers, including to monitoring, and also included default on-chain data storage, smart contract deployment, and a lot of functionalities. And it uses Amazon standard EC2 and using other Amazon tools, for example, RDS, to provide advanced data persistence services. And also with providing the standardized APIs, these applications can quickly deploy all kinds of contracts and realize different kinds of enterprise solutions on top of that. And they can also customize different, for example, shard chain so that they are able to, for example, implement different permission policy or even cross-chain policies between these shard chains by our heterogeneous sharding blockchain solution. And we have, based on this BAS platform, we have developed several applications. And one application is develop an environmental governance blockchain platform based on BAS. So that together with a department with a local government in China. And also we are building a basic architecture with a national blockchain project. And in the future, we are going to provide this BAS platform to more partners, not only in China, but also in, for example, in Asia, in Korea, and also any other places in the United States that use AWS. So many thanks for attending my today's talk. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out us at www.쿼크체인.io. Thank you.